Tier List Tuesday, it's Smashing Pumpkins. Let's go. Chronologically is how we do this, and that begins with GISH in 1991, which was not my first Smashing Pumpkins album. That, of course, was Siamese Dream. So I was already in love with Siamese Dream by the time I picked up GISH. And there weren't any streamers back then. You actually had to go buy it. When I wasn't quite in with the CMJ crowd, at least not yet anyway. So I discovered the band after Siamese Dream, and my perspective was very, very affected by Siamese Dream. I thought GISH was pretty good. I can see how it very much laid the groundwork for what was to come, but Siamese Dream was Siamese Dream, yo. I'm still going to say it's a good album. Butch Vig produced it. That didn't hurt. Rhinoceros is a good song. I Am One is a good opener. The 2021 reissue has a live cover of Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult on the DVD. Siamese Dream, 1993. This is probably one of my top 10 or at least top 20 favorite albums ever. Disarm, Shamrock, Today, Rocket, Space Boy. I'm a sucker for anything that has a Mellotron on it. There are no skips on this CD. It's psychedelic, it's proggy, it's grungy, in the perfect combination. It is an all-time classic album. It is the Smashing Pumpkins' perfect album. It is peak pumpkins. Peak pumpkins. Pisces Iscariot was not exactly really truly a studio album, but the band was so big and this album actually sold so well that a lot of people look past the fact that it's B-sides, rejects, outtakes, John Peel sessions. Being how it's all that, it's not entirely cohesive, but a lot of the songs are pretty good. It is worth owning. I've always wondered, what it would sound like if Billy Corgan and Stevie Nicks had duetted on Landslide. So I'm still going to say it's good. And before you decide to show up at my house with your favorite blunt instrument to use as a weapon, I'm not going to say anything bad about Mellon, COLLIE and the Infinite Sadness, released in 1995. I'm not even going to think about saying anything negative. But I don't regard it as highly a Siamese Dream, probably simply for the fact that it's a double album, and I tend to find double albums kind of exhausting. This is more than 2 hours long. It is one of the best double albums of all time. It's probably the wall for Generation X, arguably, in one way or another. I always stop what I'm doing when Bullet with Butterfly Wings pops up. Tonight's a great song. I never really got tired of well, maybe I did for a little while, but 1979's a great song. So it is still worthy of being in this tier. It is a great record, and if you were someone that said, I have no idea about Smashing Pumpkins, what should I get? I would definitely tell you that Mellon, COLLIE and the Infinite Sadness should be in your collection, that you should own it and listen to it. In 1998, Adore came out, and a lot of people were like, well, see, it's hard to follow up Mellon, COLLIE and the Infinite Sadness. You can't record it again, so you gotta do something different. What did Rush do after Moving Pictures? Which a lot of people was like, this was peak Rush. They added some more keyboards, and then people were kind of like, huh? But Signals was still a pretty good album. Over time, you realize Signals was a great album. And over time, I think a lot of people, I hope, have realized that Adore is still a really good album. It's decidedly more electronic, gothic, industrial, acoustic. Three years plus for the expectations to build about what was going to come after Mellon, COLLIE and the Infinite Sadness. Ave Adore, perfect. Good songs. It's just not what everyone wanted it to be, but I would still argue that it's if I had a very good tier, I'd put it there. No, I'm just going to say good. So now we move along into the 21st century and Machina, the Machines of God. And it's like the band said, okay, you guys really want us to rock. So we're going to give you what we think you want instead of what we might want to do. I almost want to say that The Everlasting Gaze might be the only pretty good song in the album. Stand Inside Your Love's on it. I don't know. I want to... It's okay. Later that year, Machina 2, The Friends and Enemies of Modern Music, they pressed 25 copies of this on vinyl, and it circulated because of the internet. Somebody ripped the vinyl, so like if you have MP3s, internet-sourced MP3s of that, probably notice that they're ripped from vinyl. That they're from vinyl. Home is a nice song. It was a track that originally was going to be on Adore. This is really honestly just a little bit less than that. It's okay. I don't really feel like there are any bad Smashing Pumpkins albums. I'll just get that out of the way. ZEITGEIST, otherwise known as Billy and Jimmy Make an Album and Call It a Smashing Pumpkins Album. This was released in 2007. Tarantula was good. It rocks. Really, the whole album I've never really been exactly able to make up my mind whether or not this album was really, shall we say, focused or just lacking in imagination. Not bad. In 2012, Oceania, Jeff Schroeder's first album with the band, If Gish and Adore Had a Baby. This album's actually pretty well balanced, and it's the best album since Adore. The Celestials is a great song. Of course, I love songs that have orchestration and that build dramatically like classical music. So I'm going to put Oceania right there. In 2014, Monuments to an Elegy was released. 32-minute album. You can listen to it like twice during your lunch break and decide whether or not you have an opinion on it. Tommy Lee played drums on this album. Yes, that Tommy Lee. To me, this album was, I don't know if I exactly want to say it's back to basics, but it was very much, hey, let's not overthink this. It's a really easy album to listen to. No surprises. Solid. Another 32-minute album. Shiny and Oh So Bright Volume 1, LP No Past, No Future, No Sun. Random album title generator. What you got? Silvery Sometimes is a good song. Solara is good. This album is produced by Rick Rubin. Somehow, though, this album feels longer than 32 minutes. It's not bad, it's just not great. In 2020, we got Seer. Actually, we got most of the songs on Seer over the previous few months before it came out. Ramona's good. The Color of Love is good. I really wanted to like this album a lot. Maybe if they'd picked the 32 best minutes of it, instead of it being twice that, maybe it would have been better. I don't know. Still, though, in my opinion, it's kind of a ballsy move from Billy Corgan to lean into synth-pop so hard. And that's what he wanted to do. That's what he felt like that's what he was compelled to do, so that's what he did. There are some good songs, so that's okay. Released over a multi-month period, starting in 2022 and concluding in 2023, ATUM, a rock opera in 3 parts. The final album to feature Jeff Schroeder. Each of the 3 parts contained 11 songs, and each was released 11 weeks apart. Altogether, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes of music. I thought Beguiled was good. I liked Empires. I love Empires. That song, to me, yeah, that song really rocks. The total output is nearly 2.5 hours. I just call that being overly ambitious. It's not bad. A little bit off topic here, but am I the only person that thinks Guns N' Roses could have released one really good album called Use Your Illusion instead of 2, good albums? Use Your Illusion 1 and 2? I kind of think ATUM could have been pared down to about 15 or 16 songs, and it would have been a pretty good album. So I'm going to say, I'm still going to say it was good. It's a little bit better. And then this year, 2024, AGHORI Mori Me, or AGHORI Mori Me. I've heard Billy Corgan pronounce it 2 or 3 different ways, so there you go. So far, there's only been a digital release in 2024. So this was a surprise album that wasn't announced until just right before it was released. 45-minute runtime, so it's fairly tight package. Billy said it's very much a rock guitar record, old school. Old school fans will be happy for once. So that's what he said. And what I'm saying is it's an album with no bad songs. Some are even very good. If your ears don't perk up when the opening track Eden kicks in, just go back to bed. I can't help you. Pentagrams is even better. Sagomi is good. It wound up being the first single. Pentecost is good. I'm going to say this. It's their best album since Adore. Now that I think about it, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move Adore up there, and I'm going to put this album here. It's not a classic album, but at the end of the day, whenever that day is for Smashing Pumpkins, I do think it will be remembered as a late career triumph. And good for them! Because at the end of the day, Smashing Pumpkins are one of those bands that are pretty consistently do what they want to do, or maybe I should say what they feel inspired to do. They're not always going to knock it out of the park. Not every idea is great, but it's always interesting to hear where they decide to go. And until they call it a day, I'm staying on for the ride. So there you go. I don't know who next week's Tier List Tuesday is going to be. I'm going to go a little further back in time than these 2 most recent episodes, I'll tell you that. I publish videos every Tuesday, every Friday, shorts, random days in between, sometimes several a week, sometimes just 2 or 3. Drop a comment if you have an opinion, good, bad, indifferent. Share with a friend. And whatever you do, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking.